Hello out there, and welcome to English Teacher Plays. We're here with The Remainder, Act 1, which is a new game. It's on Steam, and full disclosure, I did receive my copy for free, and we're going to play. Now, I don't actually know what we're playing here. Click anywhere on the screen to progress with the story. Choices you make along the way will determine your fate. If you miss something, you can read it again in the history. Once you discover a letter or a journal entry, you can find it in the gallery. Hover over the diamond to reveal a menu item. The story will include descriptions of violence, death, and suicide, as well as mentions of mind-altering substances and activities. It's recommended for a mature audience. So there's your warning, team. If any of that bothers you, then now's the time to turn it off. I do appreciate the content warning. It's very player-friendly. Act 1. Waves crash in the distance. Ooh, it's got this sort of blue on white kind of aesthetic. Cicadas chirp, a breeze caresses our hair, the sun warms our skin, all is well. We're sitting on a rug laid on the grass, hands linked together. Our singing voices float up in unison. My chest vibrates. I can feel the air in our bodies move as one. The space between us hums with power. I close my eyes and smile, savoring the feeling. My dream is coming true, just a little longer. Their singing falters and I peer at them curiously, trying to hide my annoyance. Why did you stop? They squeeze my hand with a smile and shake their head. Their skin is cold and clammy. I think it would be double M there. I think it is double M. Because otherwise this says clammy. Oh well. Ha! What has gotten into you, I ask. They gesture at the sky with an outstretched hand. I look up. The sun is ducked behind a cloud. Drops of wetness fall, softly patting the ground. You don't see it yet, do you? I frown, still peering up. What do you mean? When I lower my gaze, they're not there. Pressing my lips together, I stand up and search around me. Where did you go? It's pouring now. The cicadas are silent. Well, they're not. I can still hear them in my... So sound cue needs to be fixed there. Wind rips at my clothes. I look at my hands. Thick, warm, red. A sweet scent fills my nostrils. I venture a lick. Metallic, greasy, gross. What in Lura's name is happening? Darkness falls. Soon I can barely make out the silhouette of my hands. A sense of urgency grips me. I run to the tower and throw open the door, shouting, "Where are you?" Empty halls stretch before me, echoing my question. In the far end, a figure is walking away into the dark. That'd be a comma there. And be maybe at the far end, but that's fine. Hey, wait! Shouting, I run after them, feet pounding upon the sticky wet stones, echoing loudly. Squelch, squelch, squelch. I do like this, non-gendered singular use of the pronoun them. Fantastic. I said wait! What was their name again? Arg, why can't I remember? Why are you surprised? What? My, look at you, the voice chuckles. Falling short where it counts again. I ignore it and keep running. Sink the name. I'll know them when I find them. Sink the name. That's interesting. I grab the slippery doorknob and barge into the room. Nothing. I like the art. Another door. Nothing. I run my hands over my hair, fingers digging into my scalp. What the? I recoil when I realize the sticky stuff is smeared all over. I wipe it on my clothes, but it won't come off. Sink this, I curse. Clench my teeth and storm through yet another door. Look at the poor great magus all alone in their tall stone prison. Shut up! My voice echoes back as I stand in an empty room. Hot breaths rasp in my throat. Why was I running so hard? Why am I so tired? Why was I struggling? My legs tremble and I sink to my knees. It's alright. Everything is fine. Whatever it was, it doesn't matter now. Eyelids heavy, comforting numbness envelops me. I close my eyes and crumble to the floor just for a moment. Everything's fine. Ooh. The sea in every direction, endless. A diamond dusting of moonlight across the surface above me. I look down into the depth, the pressure against my chest as the darkness stirs. A star, then two, then a constellation glitters into life. They approach. The darkness was not the bottomless sea, but the body of an enormous fish, its silhouette filling my entire view. A gaping mouth splits open from horizon to horizon, a deeper black within. Approaching, buzzing. The progenitor hag, Sruthrul, so this is a Cthulhu story, I'm guessing, comes for me. I should be afraid. Her mouth, now all-encompassing, blots out the last remainder of feeble illumination around me. I should be afraid. Why am I not? The mouth shuts with a distant clang. A flash of lightning across the eyelid sky. Ooh. Wake up. Wake up. Come on, wake up. Prickling light in the comforting darkness, a rumbling arises and falls in an anti-music rhythm. Calm coolness gives way to crushing heat. A blanket of boulders smothers me. Hey, you alright? Do you hear me? My eyes struggle open to face. Ugh, no, go away. Someone grips my shoulders and squeezes. Still a bit out of it, eh? That metallic and greasy buzzing sound crescendos in my mouth pastes of iron. Well, they're really going after the wob 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 wob. I open my eyes again. It's easier this time, but the rest of my body is still heavy as stones. I can't budge a hair. Feverish, but no obvious wounds. You'll be fine, I dare say. Their brows furrow deeper. Stay still and listen to me carefully. Your spell had gone very, very wrong. It's going to kill us, and I haven't got much time to fix it. After a pause, they pat my hand as if an afterthought. What are you talking about? What spell? I work my stiff tongue. Don't worry about that. Just stay put. I'll deal with it. They turn and stride off. Hey, wait, what's A hoarseness burns my throat and I wheeze. I peer around, trying to get a hold of my surroundings. I must be dizzy still. Everything's spinning. Okay, so I'm just going to pause real quick. I really like this. This is great. The writing's solid. They've done a lot with the art and the sound design. It's all sort of working together. I know that if you're a longtime viewer of the show, you'd be expecting me to say that where's the voice acting? They don't need voice acting if the rest of the design is, carrying the story. So the writing is solid, the sound design's great, the visuals are solid, it's really good. Why are the books flying? I squeeze my eyes shut again. This is not happening. I'll wake up soon. Sounds trickle in, rustling, clinking, a storm raging outside, a guttural buzzing. How can I sleep like this? Annoyed, I drag myself sluggishly to my feet. An urge to gag rises, rubbing my throbbing temples. Tasting a foulness in my mouth, I force down the bile. What did I do last night? Oh, it stopped. That incessant buzzing. I rub my eyes again to clear them and look for the source of the sound. As I catch the sight of it, a cold terror creeps up my spine. A pulsing, churning thing is suspended in the air like space is swallowing itself. Waves of moist, brilliant heat spew from it. Ooh, moist, brilliant heat is interesting. The transparency, the symmetry, the stench, the singing. Breath catching in my throat, I freeze. What in Lura's name is that? Shapes huddle beneath the grotesque thing in the air. As I step around to get a better look, they resolve into figures, midnight, silent, and still as bones. The white-haired person who woke me earlier stands still. Another person is curled up on the floor, their face a mask of anguish. The emblem of a high magus hangs around their neck. The image of an eel coils around their arm. Why do I know these symbols? Whitehair's hands are raised in a peculiar gesture toward the vortex looming overhead. Hey, I whimper. What are you doing? What is that thing? It looks like they are frozen in place. Hello? I ask again. No movement. I bump into something and look to see a couch. Beside it, there's a table on which cups lay about like drunkards. Inkwell, quills, and crumbled papers are strewn across the table and the stones beneath. A few bottles are still dripping from the mouths. Dark red spots splatter across the floor. So far I haven't actually interacted with the game much. The game is happening to us. I am interested to see if there is any sort of interaction, but we'll see. A crash from somewhere else in the cavernous chamber pierces the silence, jolting me. I duck behind the couch, heart pounding fast. There comes a bang, sound of glass shattering, shouting. A cacophony reverberates painfully from the walls around me. I clutch my ears. I like the word cacophony. It's solid. Are there people fighting here? Please let me wake up already. This is not funny anymore. As abruptly as they came, the sounds died down. Is it over? Clamping eyes shut, I try to block out the buzzing, praying, let this be over soon. Let this be over soon. Let this... How did you get here? I nearly jump at the voice. The white-haired person is back, slumped next to the couch, head lulled, a hand to their shoulder, breast shallow. What? I just saw you over there. I turn and see the same person still in the spot under the vortex, and my mouth hangs open. Why are there two of you? I turn back to ask and see something drip from them. The glistening fluid shimmers and vanishes after it hits the floor. Are you melting? I back away a step. I heard shouting. Is there someone else here? They try to speak, but wince instead, eyes closed, throat bobbing. Spitting out something black and then resting their head back, they flash a sly grin and whisper. Yes, but now it wishes it never set. Violent coughing interrupts them. More fluid drops down and evaporates. I wrinkle my nose. I see. I don't see. What in the depth is going on here? What does it look like, they say? I glance around the room with a scowl, taking care to avoid the floating thing. Like the end of the world? Another wince. They lift a finger and point. What about that? Do you recognize it? I realize they mean the vortex and avert my eyes. No, Devarna, no. Absolutely not. Should I? I can't resist a shudder. They grimace. Sink me. Not even that? Your handiwork? Excuse me? I scoff. You heard me. That thing's here because of you. The Abyss Devara. Abyss Devara? A door to the last place you'd ever want to be. Make no mistake. Their eyes widen with fear and their mouth curls in disgust. Curiosity rising, I push myself upright and study the scene again. Nope, I think I would remember something like that. Nah, man. That ain't me. The unmoving figures catch my sight. You still didn't tell me why there are two of you, or who that other person is on the floor. They gesture at the prone figure. Bit slow on the uptake, aren't we? That's you, the one who caused all this. A great magus, farseer, savior of Darren Square, prodigy of the age, so on and so forth. They're looking directly at me now. Tell me, you remember at least your name. My name. Oh, can I change my name? My name? Mr. Jacobs. The unmoving figures catch my sight. You still didn't tell me why they're... Oh, the words tickle at the inside of my head. Magus, Mr. Jacobs. Yes, I'm a magus. They say weakly, not to slight a dire situation, but it is somewhat amusing to see yourself like this, no? Amused, try skeptical. Even if I believe you, that I'm this Mr. Jacobs character, that still doesn't explain who's lying on the floor there. So this needs to be in quotes, right? The stranger shakes their head and chuckles, then tilts their head limply toward an ornate mirror meandering through the air nearby. Easier if you go see yourself. I roll my eyes, step to the mirror, and pull off its velvet cover. Show me how I look. Is this me? All right. That does look pretty dope. No. What I see leaves me stunned. The figure in the mirror is the spitting image of the person on the floor. I turn to look with wide eyes, then back at the mirror again. Every last detail, down to the small pieces of metal embedded in my skin, which I'm only now noticing it's all identical. Cool. Then, just for a breath, the eel on my arm seems to wriggle, but I blink and it's still again. Very cool. I feel lightheaded. This is not right. How am I in two places at once? I turn to the figure next to me. Are we dead? Is this the afterlife? And why do you know things when I don't? How is this fair? And just who are you? We're crying. They laugh soundlessly. This is too rich. You don't remember my name either. Oh, I get to name this person as well? You're, Frankie Pennyworth. Not even close. You must have hit your head quite severely. Worried, I run a hand over my scalp. There aren't any holes. I don't remember hitting it, but that's just how it would be if I did hit it, isn't it? My voice trails off. How shall I say this? Eyes closed and lips parted, their voices barely a whisper now. The name's Ilar, your partner. Don't know what you did. Found you like this. They push out the words with effort. I lean closer to listen. A ritual must have gone astray and set loose the Abyss Devara, stripping away your memories. I did what I could. You'd be gone otherwise. They're silent for a long stretch. I nudge them. Are you still with me? They open their eyes again and struggle to lift a hand and point toward the other side of the room, but it flops to the floor. Sink me. They're getting so quiet I have to put my ear next to their mouth to hear them. Warm breath tickles me. Blood rushes in my ears. Your desk. Look in your journal. Find the spell. Circular gate. Black powder. Mantra. Only way to save. No time. Go quick. They slump to the floor. Holding my breath, I wait. Heartbeat like a hammer in my skull. Thump, thump. The buzzing fills the would-be silence. So I'm invested now. I am invested. They've done a good job of dragging me in, so I'm dragged. Getting to put my name in was pretty cool. I drive a thumb into my temple, crushing one pain with another. A futile effort. Hey, are you alive? I reach a hand to their shoulder. My hand passes through them. I pull away in shock and watch open mouth as Alar's body melts into sticky, transparent strands. A few breaths later, they're no more than a shimmering puddle. Woof. Tumbling back, I land on my butt and scream. I throw my hands over my mouth and clamp tight, hoping that I wasn't loud enough to draw attention, staring at the spot where Ilar had been. By the depth! I relax my hands and mutter once my heart slowed down to a less painful pace. Realizing that a few glowing strands still cling to my fingers, I shake them off in a panic. My skin crawls. Devarna, what do I do now? Find and cast a spell? Are they mad? I don't even know what a spell is. And what happened to them? Are they dead now? Divas, what do I do? Investigate my surroundings. Yeah, I can't just move about. It's too risky. Maybe I can find some clues to what happened here. So I am getting to make some choices now. That's cool. Crouching and stepping lightly, I scrutinize my surroundings, unsure what to look for. My foot crunches on something soft. A piece of parchment, damp and crumbled. There's writing. Could I learn something about this place? I tease it open and read. I'm not sorry. Right. I scratch my head and wonder if I'm wasting my time. Let's investigate more thoroughly. Yeah, there must be dozens of pieces of paper like the first one's got. Maybe I can try those. Deafening rumble shakes my body, and before I can turn to see, a stream of moist heat smashes into me, along with a shower of debris sending me flying. The air is knocked from my lungs. The room spins. I clutch blindly for support as I tumble through the air and begin to crash downward. So I didn't listen to Ilar. They told me to do the thing quickly, and I definitely didn't do that. My heart is pumping out of my throat as I wait for a terrible crunch of bone on stone, but my left arm shoots out on its own, some rhyming, and catches the floor. Then in one silky motion, my wrist, then elbow, then shoulder smoothly brace into stony surface, setting my body into a roll instead of a splatter. With my arms around my head, I roll over and over, finally coming to a stop. I lie a while, panting, feeling my body, amazed that nothing smashed to bits except for a ringing head, bruised arms. A ringing head, and bruised arms? What in the depth happened, and how did I do that? I raise my bruised head and see that I'd been flung several meters away from the abyss Devara. It quivers and sucks in the surrounding debris, falls silent for breath, and blows out another wave of energy. I scramble up and run as fast as my feet can carry me. Withering heat licks the back of my neck, specks pelt me. I nearly slip, righting myself just in time to stay upright. The rumble reaches a peak. I shut my eyes, focusing only on the pounding of feet on stone. Then it was gone. The heat, the debris, the vibration. I stopped just in time to avoid ramming into an oversized desk, painting, tasting blood in my mouth. When I look, the abyss Devara has returned to its previous state of quiet menace. Elbows on the desk, I drop my head and breathe out in relief. That could have ended differently. Mr. Jacobs. I hear a faint whisper, so quiet that it's barely distinguishable from the rain. Did I imagine it? There it is again. Is it coming from the desk? The massive drift oak desk, I realize as I glance around, is the only one in this room. It could be my desk. What? I examine it now as if seeing it for the first time. Cool. What a disgrace, save for a heavy book squarely set in the center lined with the edges. Everything else, paper, scrolls, measuring tools, writing instruments, all are scattered about carelessly. I file a mental note to put it in order when all this is finished. Observing the book, I notice the precisely spaced stitch marks along the spine, evenly placed rivets, meticulously inscribed Mr. Jacobs in the leather. Nice. My jittery breath steadies, my head clears somewhat. This must be the journal. If I can find the spell, I can save myself. I flip open the journal. Hello there, you're my journal then. Will you help me make sense of all this? I mean, that's, I guess, as insane as anything else that's happened so far. The paper is smooth and firm under my fingers. A thick aroma enters my nose. So familiar. I close my eyes and inhale deeply. Memories tickle the back of my head. When I open my eyes again, the arcane symbols seem to regard me even as I look at them, like seeing an old friend. Written words, soldiers of the intellect, regiments arraying on a planar battlefield, written in a decisive hand. Mine. Geometric diagrams, sigils, maps of heart and spirit, beyond words, ordered beauty. It must take days, perhaps weeks, to draw each. But what is time to acts of chaos defiance? Okay. A row of strings hang from the bottom of the book, each with an ornamental coin tied up at the end. Bookmarks, perhaps. By the depths, it's an encyclopedia. How will I ever find one spell in this? A scratching sound comes from somewhere to my left. Tense up for a moment. Is it some debris, or I wait? Another scratch, then another. Something sharp against wood. I swallow, heart pounding. Could it be whatever Ilar was dealing with? What do I do? The scratching keeps coming in twos and threes. From the same distance now, I realize. If they wanted to harm me, I'd be harmed already. Now be brave and look. I carefully turn my head. There's an arched doorway nearby. Dense blackness lies in the hallway beyond it. I squint. An amber glint flashes. Another scratch. I crane my head forward. Is that a... Oh, another character. A shape, ever so slowly, detaches itself from the darkness of the doorway. Its fur is so black that it looks like a moving shadow. Its features are sharp, merciless. It walks tiptoed, sinewy muscles rippling under the fur, poised to lunge. I stumble back, hand fumbling behind me, searching the desk for a weapon. My fingers grip around something, and I look to see a knife. A lidless eye on the base of the blade turns its gaze to me and whispers, "Thirsty! Feed me!" I yelp and toss the knife. It clacks and falls behind the desk. I turn to see the dark creature inching forward unsteadily, peering around the room, sniffing the air, pausing at every little sound. It's distracted. I might have a chance. I tense up and ready myself. The creature winces and clutches its head, and I bolt for the circle of debris. Caught by surprise, it claws at my arm, misses, tears a shred of fabric away. Hurns! I hear a strained hiss, then rapid footsteps on my heels. I don't dare slow down. Man, I thought I was going to get an opportunity to do something there, but I didn't. But that's fine. Something sharp snatches at my robe, tear it, but without enough catch to stop me, it's closing in. I can't outrun it. What do I do? I hear from right behind me. Stop. Did it just speak? Something large moves in the corner of my eye, then I hear a crash. I just turn to see my pursuer knocked to the ground by a bookshelf-turned projectile. Don't stop. Come to me. Ilar's voice booms. I turn and see them moving their arm in an arc, and several thick vases from the drifting flock launch toward the creature. A head-on smash. Myriad splinters fly out. I wince at the imagined pain. But when the pieces have settled, I spot the dark figure some distance back, on all fours, mostly unharmed. How did... Ilar takes a few quick steps to my back, muttering something under their breath, then throws their open hand toward the enemy. It leaps back, bounding several meters at once, landing near the doorway. I wait for Ilar to press the attack, but they simply step out from behind me to glare at our attacker. What are you waiting for? Finish it. Seems Ilar doesn't hear me at all. They just stand there. I look toward the dark figure who's staring at me with pain in its eyes. It opens its mouth to say something, but all that comes out is a sound somewhere between a gurgle and a hiss. It clutch at its head, again with both hands, eyes bulging, straining. Ilar chuckles and with a flick of his wrist launches a cabinet. The invader grimaces at me and vanishes into the dark doorway. The cabinet smashes into chunks, so loud that it hurts to hear. The room is quiet again, save for the rain and the pounding in my chest. This is very odd. Okay, well, 23 minutes. We've been playing for 23 minutes. That's a pretty good look at what is essentially an illustrated and sound-affected novel with some choices that you get to make. And let's go look at the description and see what it has to say for itself. All right, The Remainder, Act 1 is a dark fantasy story made of mystery, romance, and the unexpected. Developed by Square Weasel Studio, and it comes out today. So it's not quite out yet. And they've got the Act 2. You can buy the full edition, so it'll have Acts 1 to 4. Right. You're woken with no memory of your past by an elegant and enigmatic stranger called Ilar, who tells you that a door to the abyss has opened and threatens to consume you unless you do exactly as Ilar says. Right. Treacherous path. Find the tower's secrets. Can you piece together the scattered puzzle of your life? Can you save yourself and Ilar? Can you keep your mind in one piece until the end? Explore a world of ritual magic, pre-industrial technology, and a culture that marries ancient religions of the Orient and Occident. Be lured into an occult world by artwork made to resemble alchemical manuscripts, intricately hand-drawn with pen and ink. Yeah, it's very, very cool. Then edited and animated digitally to bring it to life. Immerse yourself in the haunting soundtrack, weaved from organic sounds, ceremonial instruments, ritual chanting, and glitch effects. And choose who becomes your friend, enemy, or romantic interest. Very cool. I like it. This is solid. If you are into this sort of vibe, if you're into this kind of game, this is a good one. Like I said, the sound effects are fantastic. The art is great. The writing is solid. There are still some grammatical and spelling errors and things in there. A few typos, which is not a huge problem, but definitely something that you should fix in a in a game that is so dependent on the writing. If the writing's the feature, the writing needs to be basically perfect, and it's something that you can perfect. like pretty easily, you know, like when you've got like a million things working together, like say Cyberpunk, you know, there's bound to be glitches, but when it's just text on a screen, and you know, you're just putting the text on the screen, that's something that you can control really easily. And so when I see typos or spelling mistakes or grammatical errors in something like this, I'm like, oh, definitely need to fix that. Luckily, it should be an easy enough fix. You know, there were a couple of them that I pointed out here, not too many. And like I said, it wasn't enough to take me completely out. The writing is largely very good, suits the tone, solid. There were just a couple in there, and it might be worth having a look through the rest of it. So let's have a look at Square Weasel Studio. So we got the Remainder Act 1 and the Remainder Act 2 as their only games. It's pretty cool, man. So if you want to check it out, go ahead and click on the link in the description. Leave me a comment down below, like and subscribe, all that kind of stuff. And otherwise, I will see you guys next time. Class dismissed.